Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again on the reaction for you guys. Today, guys, of course, we're continuing the journey of Ben 10 Alien Force. This is Season 3, Episode 18. Of course, I will not know the title until I get into watching the episode. It's crazy to think that after I watch this episode, there's only 2 episodes remaining of the entirety of Alien Force. It's crazy to think that because I remember when I was watching Ben 10 Classic, maybe even early as starting the first episode of Ben 10 Classic, the very first one, people are already commenting, are you going to react to the whole series? You're going to react to the whole franchise? You're going to react to this? And then as I kept going and going and going in season 2 and 3, you're going to react to Alien Force? I'm thinking, I don't know. Am I ready? Am I ready to commit to that amount of content? Because if I say yes, I'm committing to Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Omniverse in terms of what has been established in terms of the canon of these shows. Like, am I ready to do all that? That's a lot of episodes. But of course I was going to, because Ben 10 was so good, and Alien Force is just reconfirming that. Like, yeah, there's been some, what was going on there, gold poop, what? But understanding all of that background and information, and just seeing what Alien Force matured on in terms of some of the storytelling and what they were kind of throwing at us as like these big reveals, surprises, of course I'm going to continue to see what's going to happen next. So really there wasn't any doubt. I was just kind of questioning, am I ready to do this? And the answer is yes. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this episode. Of course, last week was pretty intense in regards to the person who killed Ragnarok, that's his name, who killed Kevin's father. We actually saw a flashback, which I always like seeing flashbacks with Max and everything when he was a plumber. And we see what happens there. And Ragnarok just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. And he was really not phased, really. He was just basically completing this task or mission or whatever to absorb the sun's energy, which would have killed our planet, Earth, and pretty much all the other planets surrounding it, essentially. If there's no star, all the planets would die. So it was pretty intense in that regard, and Kevin was trying anything and everything, and I think he succeeded in killing Ragnarok, but I don't know. I mean, we didn't see the body, even though this show wouldn't really do that. But you get what I'm saying. They kind of left it open where he's flying off into space. And Ragnarok's really strong, so I don't know. Can he survive falling into the sun? Can he survive being out in space? No idea. No idea. But anyways, guys, I'm really excited what's going to happen in this episode to see what's going to happen here. So let's jump into it now, guys. Let's check it out. Season 3, Episode 18 of Alien Force. Let's go. Oh. Oh my gosh. What? What? What is she doing back in that?
Ortis.
It's his place?
I could swear I heard.
I told you, Uncle Hex, there's nothing here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You're gonna break it. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. Time heals?
We should go in.
Wait,
She'd want us
what?
to.
Go watch your game. I'll be right back.
What is she doing?
Did you hear what she said? She doesn't care about me. Oh, golly, Kev, that's just
Oh,
crazy.
golly.
Talk. Gwen thinks you're swell.
Quis quandam eram afflictus, eam vicis.
Time travel is for immortals and fools.
I was like, who is that
I speak
talking?
from experience. I'm about to warn you not to go through with this plan of yours. See,
Plan?
just did, right on schedule.
Bell can send me back in time. Back to when Ben and Kevin tried to hack the Omnitrix.
Yes. Generally, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. In this case, however, trust me,
Trust
Gwendolyn,
me.
don't do this. Sometimes to do something, all you need to do is nothing.
You're not making any sense. I have to do this.
I
No.
suppose you do.
Quis quandam
Okay.
eram afflictus.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. I normally wouldn't pause. Paradox just warned her that you do this, you're going to unleash forces that you cannot fathom or understand. And she's like, all right, cool. I get it, because she's tried everything to try to save Kevin. So now her thing is, I can just go back and prevent it from ever happening. But something else is going to happen in the process.
Tom essay.
This is bad. So is there going to be another
I'm pretty sure I
Gwen
know how to do this myself
in the mix
anyway.
somewhere? Shit.
Maybe I can...
Okay, so she's back in her body at that time. Okay.
Who do I look like? I'm you.
What?
I just traveled back in time to give me,
Oh.
you important information. Fine. What do you want me to do? Tell me something that only I know. Okay, fine. You're me. And
What
by
did
the
she
way,
tell her?
yuck. We need to stop Ben and Kevin from hacking the Omnitrix.
Yeah,
Are you
but
sure?
it's gonna be bad.
You will
Something
never
bad's gonna happen.
forgive yourself.
Oh my god.
Ah, my stuff!
Dude.
You going to explain that?
No.
Good girl.
No, it's gonna be bad. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What the fuck?
Surrender.
Yeah, Gwen, you fucked up. There you go. So how did her changing the timeline cause all this exactly? Wait, is this because when Charmcaster came back, she used Kevin to, you know, manipulation and everything, and so she couldn't do that now or something? But I wouldn't think it would cause this much issues, of course. But I don't know.
Where are you, Ben?
My god, they're just relentless and they're everywhere. Hex. Oh my god.
Been quite a day, hasn't
Would
it?
you stop doing that?
Oh, very well.
Don't go anywhere.
Actually,
You
in
should
my
have listened.
case, it's less of a where than
Oh.
it is a when.
Exactly.
And every plan has unintended consequences. For instance, Hex and Charmcaster tried to take over the world. You, Ben, and Kevin swung into action. You were humanity's last line of defense.
Oh.
Only there was a weak link. You kept him from mutating. Ergo, the new Kevin, or rather, the old Kevin. I warned you that time travel.
I
is for
warned you.
mortals and fools.
She didn't listen.
I'm
Damn
the
it,
only
Gwen.
immortal.
Oh my god. Really?
Kevin. I'll save you, Kevin. I promise.
Well, that's the sort of thing that got you into trouble
Exactly.
in the first place. After you died, he was the planet's last hope.
No.
What?
Dead? Me?
Oh shit.
Yes, dead.
Make it the way it was.
I suppose it wouldn't do any harm to try. However, stealing the Book of Spells won't be quite so easy. Ah, youth. They never listen.
They never listen. He already knew this was, yeah, God. Yeah, that was gonna happen. I think Professor Paradox knows this may not work.
Because I killed you once. And now?
Of course she did. Of course she did. Ooh. Okay, go get the book. Go, go, go.
Killing me is not cool.
Not cool. Ooh.
It's the one book I don't lend out.
You aren't surprised to see me.
To the contrary, I've been waiting for you to show up. I love this new world your meddling created. I'm not letting you change.
I like how he said that.
First, I'm going to kill you.
Damn. Oh, she's gotta fight Kevin.
Kevin, you don't have to do this.
Oh, sweet. That was cool.
Oh, sure.
Gwen, but I saw Charmcaster. You were fighting her and she...
I know, Ben. I'll explain when I get you out of here. Oh, sure.
Swamp fire. Damn. Go, Ben. Watch your back. Ooh. Ooh.
I'm not much of a reader.
Okay, Gwen, you gotta
Hold
go.
off, Ben.
Come on.
I need time to cast a spell. Please, Quantum.
Who did he turn into?
Atlantis.
Ooh. Oh no, don't fall. Okay, he can't follow. Okay.
I'm from her future, and she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
come on.
this is gonna be so confusing.
I know you're not an imposter. We have to let it happen the way it did the first time. We can't keep Kevin from mutating. We don't belong here.
That's crazy. 3 Gwens.
That doesn't look right.
What have you been doing up here all day?
Doing
You
a spell.
game.
Oh, all day?
Hello, young.
Hello.
Paradox.
Everything's fine.
Is it though? Or was he there just to confirm the timeline's fine now? Honestly, I'm not too surprised that Gwen thought, you know what? I've tried pretty much everything, been spending so much time trying to find out a way to reverse Kevin's amalgamation, like what happened to him because of the explosion. It's not too surprising. She goes, you know what I could do? I could become Lucky Girl again. Still one of Hex's books. It's a book of magic or whatever. And literally go back in time to prevent it. And she actually does, and then things get a whole lot worse. And at one point we had 3 Gwens in that damn garage. It was basically Gwen No Way Home, essentially. and she's like, no, you got something. No, you do. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, there's so much happening here. Like, why are you here? Why are you here? Like, it's just confusing. And of course, Professor Paradox is in the mix, and it makes a lot of sense. Why? Because he's like, I know what's about to happen. Because he's like, look, because he kind of said in the middle of the episode when Gwen like left the tree to go platforming up, which I love when she uses platforms. So she did that multiple times in the episode. But she's platforming away, and he's like, youth or whatever. They never listen or whatever. He was referring to Gwen and how she's just not listening to him, because that's exactly what happened in the beginning of the episode. She has the book. Kevin and Ben are over, and she's up in her room doing the spell, and Paradox shows up saying, you shouldn't do this, just saying. And she's like, but I have to try, I have to. And he's like, okay, I warned you. He's like, okay, so you're going to see the outcome of what you did. Now, I didn't expect that when she prevents the explosion, which, by the way, the way that Gwen prevents it was pretty interesting, because I thought she would just, like, find some sort of way to, like, when the explosion occurs, she throws like a force field around all of them or whatever before the explosion goes off, or something to that effect. I know that the Omnitrix is attached to Ben, but I'm saying, like, if Kevin is blocked from the explosion, that would also, but then that could change to where Ben would die from the explosion. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? She throws them up against the wall and just destroys the machine. She just didn't care. But she's doing it because she's like, I have to do this because I was told by my future self that this, like, I have to prevent this from occurring. And then the outcome, the actual, like, timeline shift, I was not expecting how insane it got. First of all, the whole entire city is ran down. Hex is now ruling over. Charmcaster, not Charmmaster, Charmcaster is in the mix, which was great to see them, by the way, in the episode. It was great to see those characters. And all the rock monsters, all the rock creatures. But then Paradox goes, well, you know, when you died, Ben was really the last line of defense. And she's like, what? Because, like, that explains why there's not another Gwen somewhere. Gwen was killed by, of course, Charmcaster. She's the one who killed Gwen. But Kevin literally could not do hardly anything, it seems, in terms of he didn't have the capabilities, the wherewithal, whatever words you want to say. I know Paradox had a certain word, because when he finally showed up again to talk to Gwen for a moment before she, of course, she stopped listening and just went to go find the book, because he's like, well, I mean, it might work if you revert everything back, but the implication is that maybe it doesn't stop. Like, maybe certain things, maybe the timeline will still shift if you try to prevent it. But I guess he wasn't 100% sure. I guess it depends on how it's handled or how she goes about it. But he was just like, well, I mean, I don't know. But he's like, well, I guess you gotta try, I guess. But Kevin, literally without his amalgamation, his abilities, when he got transformed because of the explosion, he could not go up against Hex. Like, he lost. Like, they lost. Ben was captured. He's in a dungeon somewhere. Of course, Kevin is now a rock monster, and Gwen's dead. So, you know, it was probably a whole lot of weird thing. And the thing is, too, they were mentioning, like, I'm gonna kill you again. I killed you. And it's like, they were using that word, like, pretty frequently in the episode, which is not normal. Not normal for a cartoon show, especially on Cartoon Network, to say, I'm going to kill you again. I've already killed you once. It's like, okay, kill. It's like, Jesus. But they're making that point very well known that Gwen, not only did you screw up the timeline, you also died in the process, which I want to know how did Charm, I'm saying Charmmaster, I'm tired. How did she do it? Like, what kind of maneuver or move, like, what spell or something? Was there like a cursed, like a, what was it? I forget what they call it in Harry Potter, where it's like there's like certain curses or whatever that you use, like a deadly curse or something. I forget what that's called specifically, like, Avada Kedavra or whatever the fuck. I know what I'm talking about. Like, it's something like that where there's like a death, like magic spell or something that like killed Gwen? No idea. Because Ben's like, oh, I saw what Charmcaster did. I'm like, well, what exactly happened? And that's not important. I guess it's not important, but I'd like to know personally, because that would probably been hitting more home if she found out how she died. Maybe that'd be a little too gruesome, maybe. But she fixed everything. She was up there all day in her room, but she fixed everything. And apparently she forgot. She forgot what happened, which was kind of crazy. Like, because when Professor Paradox showed up, and even when she went to go hug Kevin, which that was kind of a small little subplot where Kevin's like, yeah, Gwen doesn't even really act like she likes me anymore. And she just goes and hugs him instinctively, not even thinking. And he's like, what's that for? When she fixes everything. And she's like, I don't know. Then Paradox shows up. What's going on? He's like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then they just, oh, okay, everything's fine. And then he disappears. So Gwen, I guess, forgot that she tried all this. I'm wondering if it's... Oh, I know why. Because when Gwen in the garage talked to the first Gwen who changed the timeline, the other Gwen that got the book, got out of there after all the action and chaos, when she went to go talk to both them, she put a spell on the one that is now the one we're following in the timeline, who never went back and did this, because who didn't prevent the destruction or anything. She's the one now they're floating. I'm guessing that's the implication, because she doesn't remember. So, okay, interesting. We had 3 Gwens in that garage. It's just so crazy. And the time pauses, that was a little strange, because, like, are they implying that Gwen can do that? Or is it to where, because, like, there was no, like, actual indication that we're starting, right? In terms of, like, okay, time's moving forward now. Because when the Gwen that's there to to change the timeline, telling the one who was there in the garage, do this, okay, gotta stop the explosion, all this. Like, she just walks away. Like, as soon as she's out of frame, time starts again. And I'm thinking, okay, Kevin's looking over at Gwen, I think, in that moment, or at least he can kind of see that as peripheral vision. There's another Gwen right there in the garage. How come there was no, like, because the way it played out, like, here's Gwen, Kevin, and here's the other Gwen that comes back in time to tell this Gwen who's in the garage during that moment to prevent the explosion. Gwen starts to exit, and as soon as she hits out of frame, the camera moves to where now time's going back and it's not frozen anymore. Wouldn't Kevin here fucking see that there's a Gwen that's stepping out of the garage and there's one next to him? Wouldn't he? I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I wish, because see, the way they played it off where both Gwens were exiting, the one who went back in time and the one who then went back in time after the fact, realizing I fucked up everything. This is bad. Professor Paradox was right. They both exit and get pretty far away, it seems, or at least out of view. Then time goes up again. Then time continues forward, and then the explosion happens. So I kind of wish they would have played that scene a little bit different, because she was still technically right in the garage when the time started back. I don't know. Because they could say, well, she disappeared. Well, no, because we see the other Gwen who's outside of the garage just listening in. So we know that she was right there. Right? She didn't, like, disappear or go anywhere. So it was crazy. I was not expecting this decision. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have it to where Gwen's gonna go back in time. Which, like, we know Professor Paradox, he has a certain ability to do said thing, but to have one of our actual core characters do this, and I get it, in a last ditch attempt to try to save Kevin, but at the same time, she was warned. She's like, I have to do this. I'm like, no, you don't, because he's telling you no. And then he also makes a point to say this: sometimes it's best to do nothing. So I don't know what that means, because he's being very vague. He knows what he's talking about, but he can't tell her, because I'm thinking there's certain things in the timeline he has to protect. If he was to tell Gwen how to reverse Kevin's amalgamation, reverse what happened to him, then that would basically break something in the timeline. Because my guess is she will find a way, or there will be a way that is discovered to do that for Kevin that will be actually good, because the times before, like, it just didn't work out. Or in the case of, like, fucking, Dark Star or whatever, like, it worked, but to what extent and all that kind of stuff, and he was really manipulating all that kind of, but of course, manipulation. But you know what I'm saying? So if he was to tell Gwen how to do it, then whatever way they're supposed to figure it out down the road, and the way they get to that point and however that occurs would be lost, and that would probably change the timeline and make it really bad. He knows all the outcomes. He knows everything. That's the problem with his character. He knows everything, but it's also the greatness about his character, because he never really shows up ever in this show. I mean, of course he was introduced in Alien Force, so it's only been this one show, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's constantly popping up, because it seems like right now they're all going for the most part on the right path. But when there is a potential divergence, a change in the path, if you will, that will be drastic, which is exactly what he was saying, he has to step in. And the fact is, he knows the trio, he knows them. So I'm guessing whenever Kevin's going after Ragnarok in the last episode, that needed to happen in the timeline. But at this one instance, Gwen's like, I need to go back in time. He knew this was not going to end well. If he thought, well, there are many outcomes and potentially it could be a good version depending on how it's handled, but I guess there was none. Or this is a fixed point in time that needs to happen to Kevin. And maybe that's what it is specifically. You cannot prevent this from happening. Maybe she was going somewhere else back in time. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered too much, but I guess it really just depends. Because it's affecting her specifically. But then again, it would probably be really even worse if she's affecting other people's lives that are not her. So yeah, but yeah, she pretty much caused the destruction of a lot of shit, and she died in the process. Pretty messed up. But yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. I can't wait to see what happens next. We have 2 more episodes, guys, and the show's done, and it's crazy to say that, but of course we have Ultimate Alien coming up, of course. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious to know your thoughts like the episode. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.